Dolores and Paulie are engaged. Paulie said that he had a problem with syncing his iCloud to his multiple devices, and he made Dolores go to the Apple Store with him. And while they were there, before the Mac genius came over, he got down on one knee and proposed to Dolores. Amy, what is your reaction to this news that just came out as of 2 days ago when you will be listening to this, Turtle Time listeners?
Happy for them. I didn't know they met at an Apple store, so that was sweet.
That is so cute. That is a modern day who's got mail, because it's exactly bookstores. I haven't ranted about this in a long time, but bookstores used to be meeting places, and now you could say that with technology and stuff, Apple stores have become, in a way, replaced a bookstore in the community, and so it's kind of a modern retelling of that film. Would you agree?
Yeah, very cute. I hope that the original origin was that they were taking classes at the Apple Store.
Oh
I
yeah.
think my dad has done that where they do little presentations for people on all the features of how to
My
use your phone.
Yeah, my mom has as well. I remember when she got an iPad, she was able to take a couple of those courses to sort of just, get up to speed on some of the stuff that's going on. That would be really sweet. Like if they
That's a
were in
good
this.
what are those called? Like geezer pleasers, like like book club or something where they have a meet cute at an Apple orientation.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a good. I was thinking of they're testing AirDrop, telling them how to AirDrop onto different phones, and then what the girl or maybe the person that they like, their image shows up, and they
They
accidentally send them
accidentally sent
something.
a nude.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say not a nude, but like maybe like a photo of their kid or something on accident because they're so bewildered they don't know how
No, it
to use
has to
it.
be way funnier than that. It has
Okay.
to be
Oh,
something they earlier in the day were doing a mole check because they're old and everything is about health. And so they took some really unflattering photo and then they accidentally sent it to like Andy Garcia or whatever. And they're like, oh, and he's like, what is this? And then he puts his little glasses on.
you're right. I should have. Sorry. You're right. That is a great way to start a Nancy Meyers film. If it was Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin or something like that, that would be absolutely a perfect way to start this sort of ball rolling on their romantic relationship. Well, that's great. I mean, I think that it's probably pretty clear now that Dolores and Paulie were probably at a Mac Genius seminar when they met, and so Paulie brought her back there to propose.
It's cute. I mean, it's a little bit not to squish the excitement, but it's a little bit like, what's the point? Like they've been together so long now and they're I mean, whatever, do what you want.
Oh, do you mean like
Like what
what
took
the
them
hell?
so long / why now? But
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure that, not to be a little stinker, but I'm sure that Dolores was leading breadcrumbs to producers being like, this was going to happen at some point. Obviously, you're going to miss it. Warning, warning. Polly's got a ring that's burning a hole in his pocket. And then now with New Jersey not in sight at all, it's like Polly was ready to do this. He was probably ready a year ago, but they were waiting. Did you see how similar the photos look to Cole McBee's proposal? It's almost the exact same setup. Roses on the ground and those big, huge lights that say, please marry me behind her.
Wow. I love I feel like the Cole's proposal is way more of a carrot for Bravo than the Paulie one. I don't know that America was waiting with bated breath to see this engagement. But it's sad that now it cannot be featured.
I think that a lot of people were waiting with bated breath. I think, when we were back in Jersey, like really, really recapping Jersey, I feel like we would have been very happy to have this coming up, to know, you know what I mean? We're a little there. It's a little out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But we're going to see the lead up of this. Remember on Rhode Island, whatever the hell that show
Oh, right.
is?
Yeah, she's on
Dolores.
that.
So we're going to actually see Dolores and Polly probably gave them that viewership a little glimpse of the stepping stones towards this proposal. So we will have a little bit of a lead up that was filmed.
Right. I forgot that she was tied to that show. I not to get ahead, but speaking of speculating on Housewives, this kept popping up for me on Twitter, and I saw it 5 different places, so it felt like maybe there was something to it. And I sent it to you. Bravo, or what is this freaking Bravo and Cocktails is one of the sources saying, reporting that season 16 of RHONY will be announced at BravoCon, and it will star Luann, Sonia, Dorinda, Carol, Sai, Jessel, Aaron, and 2 newbies. And the only reason I'm giving this any credence is because I saw a different video where Carol was out on the town with Aaron. And Carol's really been in the mix. We talked about this before. She's going to BravoCon. Aaron is always in the mix. What are your thoughts?
Well, great. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any of this. You sent me this right before, and I had no clue that this was possibly happening. I have a lot of, I guess, questions. I believe it's possible. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Aaron hanging out with Carol Radswell is not really a smoking gun for me. I feel like Aaron is purposefully sort of showing off deep relationships with every Bravo celebrity she can get her hands on, like Sheena and who was the last one? Lindsay Hubbard. Now it's Carol Radswell. I don't put too much stock in that, but I do know that obviously RHONY has to change, and the idea that an announcement might come at BravoCon is not so surprising to me. What's very surprising to me, though, is that you looked at the reboot and you said, yeah, we need to fix things. Let's keep Sai and Aaron. Like,
I always felt like Aaron was never going anywhere. I think that Andy's obsessed with her.
That is as shocking as Andy loving Lisa Rinna for her entire run of Beverly Hills. That's a shocker to me. Almost everything that was bad about the reboot can be pinned to Aaron and how she kind of behaved under the lights and cameras. So this is not. I would have just taken Jessel and had kept Uba as a friend of. That would have been 10 times better. But in my opinion, if those 4 cast members come back, those legendary, iconic cast members, I mean, it spells complete doom for Aaron and Sai, because they're just going to overtake everything, override them. We're going to see the glorious eras that all of them are in, and it doesn't seem like a good group of people, like, to sort of mix and start over, in my opinion.
It does feel to me, though, that Carol is sort of a perfect link between old and new, because she's, I don't know exactly age-wise. I think age-wise she is in between, but also just in her vibe. She's like cooler and younger, but she knows all of these old broads. So she could be the link, but that would be a lot of weight on her to connect the two worlds. But that kind of makes sense to me. Like, without her, it makes no sense. And with her, I can see it. Like, she could be on either cast. You know what I mean? Like, she could hang out with Jenna Lyons, or, I mean, actually makes less sense for her to hang out with, like, Sonia, but she knows her from before, but,
Right. Yeah. I'm wrong about everything. So in one day, we'll find out that I'm completely wrong. And this is the announcement with 2 new cast members. And obviously, it depends on who the 2 new cast members are. Those could be the best casting they've ever done in their life. But what does this mean about, we liked Raquel. Like, what does this mean about the people that were cast aside? Jenna Lyons. Right. I mean, I understand obviously why she was fired, but I'm surprised that, like, she wouldn't have made the cut. Talk about a bridge. Like, like you said, she makes a little bit more sense to stay on and bridge the gap between Aaron and Sai. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just looking at this photo and I'm like, what the hell? Is this actually possible? But I know nothing, and so it's quite possible this will happen.
It could be total bullshit. I just keep seeing it. And I saw some other sort of blind item where it was like, it had 4 red apples and 3 green apples that I think meant like old and new or whatever. So I just it kept coming up. And so we'll see. But we're going to BravoCon, so we will let you guys know what we hear. I mean, you'll hear it before us. Where us being there doesn't make much of a difference because it'll be online immediately. But
where were those green and red apples?
I saw a tweet where it was like red apples plus green apples and then like question marks. But I guess we can probably safely rule out Lindsay Hubbard now that she has her spinoff.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So green were symbolizing older apples, riper apples, right? And then red would have been the new ones.
I think so. It was some combination like that where that's what I took it to mean. And then I saw this other one and I was like, I think that's what that meant.
Yeah. Well, I want to be optimistic now in case this is the truth. I mean, if it is real that Luann, Sonia, Dorinda, and Carol are coming back to RHONY, it's the best news in the world. I'm worried about the bad portion of RHONY being on there, but it doesn't matter because seeing 4 of the most vibrant cast members to ever exist in Bravo would be amazing. So it's a win if this happens.
Yeah, I'll take it. But it might be total bullshit, but I wanted to speculate because why not?
Okay, speaking of speculating, I've got a speculation news
Okay.
story. I sent you this right before we started recording, but I don't know. I mean, the Watch What Happens Live booking was amazing this week. They had Captain Jason, who was 4 nights ago. He goes, I did not have sex with Heather. Please stop asking me. That has never, he said it in a nice way, but he said,
Yeah.
no sex happened. And then I saw today that Heather was on it, a night ago, and she said he said that nothing happened between us. That's what constitutes nothing to him, implying
Right.
that there was something. I mean, we're now here in the first to third base territory where Heather constitutes hooking up as something other than what Captain Jason does, I think. And then Heather goes, well, let that be a lesson to you ladies who date Jason. He considers that type of stuff nothing. And then Andy goes, well, come on, damn it. He goes, damn it, tell me what happened. And Heather goes, nothing. And let's just keep it there. And I was like, what the hell, Heather? That was the time to just say we made out and, and we did even something that was considered very sexual, but we didn't have actual sex. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's time to dispel this thing, finally.
Right. She said something like, I was in a new country. I was in his land and he guided me in more ways than one or something like that. I get that if a guy was like, I didn't hook up with her, that you don't want to be the one like, yes, he did. Like that's kind of embarrassing. Like, I get why she's just like, okay. Like, if that's how he wants to play it instead of her being like, no, like, this is what we did.
Yeah, maybe Captain Jason is dating someone secretly right now, and he's like, I don't want to be declared a cheater because my girlfriend who I'm dating now knows the timeline of when I was with Cindy and Heather. She's a huge Bravo fan, and so I don't want people to know that I had sex with Heather when we were drunk in Sydney. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think Heather, who I believe is pretty truthful 85% of the time, 80% of the time, she's obviously not letting this go. She said they hooked up. She was proud of it. So whatever she considers hooking up, I think happened with Captain Jason. This, okay. I mean, you say not a kiss? She's just lying?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that they have differing stories. That's all.
But but don't you think Heather pushing back again, live, on camera, for everyone to see, her stating that something happened between them, that would be bizarre. I mean, I would never be able to believe Heather about anything ever again in my life. If she was she lied. Not a kiss, not a makeout, no oral sex between them.
Oh, God.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying we're in this territory now where I'm like, we all have different barometers for what constitutes hooking up. But obviously, Heather thinks that what they did counts as hooking up. And so I just feel like it's kind of ridiculous now. I'm like, either Heather is completely lying or there's some truth to it. And now, Captain Jason, it's on you. I don't care if you cheated on your girlfriend. Tell the world that you did something with Heather. And you don't have to tell us what it was, but it was something, I assume. Right?
Finger bang?
It's right. And this is what I don't need to know what constitutes as hooking up. We're not in high school where we're clarifying what hooking up means. Did some sexual activity happen between Captain Jason and Heather? And if it was just a makeout, maybe it's a little odd for Heather to declare it hooking up if we made out. But still, Jason has admitted to nothing, pretty much. And so now I'm like, Captain Jason, back to you. I think you need to clarify. I think you did something with Heather.
Well, maybe Andy will have them squash the beef.
That would be so cool. I mean, it's kind of fun that we have a mystery leading up to BravoCon like this. We have a lot of good stuff swirling around. We have Cole McBee and Casey are going to be like sort of swirling around because they're in their post-honey or engagement. What's that called?
I know that's like your biggest thrill of the year is that these randos from McBee Dynasty got engaged, even though they already have a baby.
I'm just saying that they're, yes, of course, but I'm just saying we got Dolores and Paulie are going to be riding high after their Apple Store engagement, Cole McBee, and then now we've got even a little mystery and some intrigue about whether or not Captain Jason and Heather did something. It's just kind of nice that there is this kind of place that we're all going towards that has all of these like accumulated, Bravo stories going on for us.
I am starting to I sort of have blocked out BravoCon for a while because I'm just like, who knows what it's going to be like? And the closer we get, the more I'm like, it's just so crazy. Like, there's no way it's not going to be fun and wild just because the idea that there are 1,000 Bravo celebrities all in one place, and then that always spurs storylines for years to come because crazy shit happens on the ground there. Like the way stuff happens at a reunion or something like that, where for years to come, there's going to be on multiple shows. They're going to go, that's what you said at BravoCon, or like, that we hooked up at BravoCon or whatever. Like there's going to be so many offshoot stories that are born this weekend.
Yes, we just got to the tail end of BravoCon 2023 stories, being talked about. So now it's time for new fodder for all of that or for us. So I'm very excited for that. How do you feel now about possibly transitioning from news to talk about this wife swap that you and I both watched? It's the last episode of the Real Housewives edition of Wife Swap with Dr. Wendy Osefo.
Yes. We kind of texted about it before, and to me, I thought this was the best one. I thought they saved the best for last.
Okay, you're blowing my mind with that. Tell me what did you love the most about this Dr. Wendy edition?
I enjoyed the animal. I thought the animal chaos could have been way more ramped up. I thought there was going to be way more ferret shenanigans and stuff like that. But I did laugh when she would open a door and it would be like a ferret on a hamster wheel, or like she would scream at the sight of a cat, like a house cat. I was like, okay, can you relax? Like,
yeah, there was a really funny moment was she just opened a door and there was a cat that was just like kind of cute, just sitting up on a big thing, and she started screaming and ran out of the room. It's like, that's a cat.
I know, and she has dogs. It's not like she's doesn't have any animals. So
yeah,
that stuff
but
was funny.
The ferret had a bad first impression. He crawled up Wendy's body and started spinning around her neck like a classic ferret. That was not the best, introduction to ferret life. I think.
What was his name? Like Bobo.
Breck.
There was Breck and I think also Bobo potentially.
Okay, yeah, Breck and Bobo.
They also had a chinchilla, 5 cats, or ducks or something. So I thought that stuff was funny. I also thought it was a little bit interesting because Wendy doesn't suffer fools. So basically the summary of, like, usually so far it's when they trade at the end, it's like, you should be more, you should relax and let the kids have more fun. And then other people are like, kids love structure, like try and do X, Y, and Z. And Wendy was like, you're like really neglecting your family.
Yeah. I mean, the balance at the end of the episode when they say their words to each other about how they can get better, Wendy got 90% of that time to say, what's her name? Athea? Telling her everything that was wrong with her family, what needs to be done. And Athea was like, put a basketball hoop in your kitchen. And like that was like the one piece of advice. She was like, they liked not having any rules and having fun nonstop. It's like, well, yeah, probably. I mean, I felt like this was the least. I get why you liked the animal stuff, but for me, this had the least effect on the growth of the family by the end of it. I don't think that they took away anything, and I didn't feel like they enjoyed any part of it of being with these other families. Like I didn't sense a deep bond between them at all. I felt like there was just such a clear divide here between them, and it wasn't transformational like
no. I mean, none of them are.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be misremembering. I thought that the Emily Simpson one, I was crying.
Well, I feel like they all cried about how their lives are hard.
Right.
Like,
no tears here, though.
No, I mean, Wendy was like, fuck you, you're a bad mom. Wendy's mom, like, bullied the mom and was like, what kind of woman are you? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? They're like, the world doesn't revolve around you. You sleep in all day. I also was like I feel like her, whatever, I like sleeping in, but it was giving kind of like depression.
I know, that's what I thought too.
I was like, saying, oh no.
They were saying mom sleeps until 12 and then she goes in the ferret room and then you have to walk around her on the couch while she plays with the ferret longer.
She doesn't
I was like,
greet us when we get home. We have to make our own lunch. I was like, ugh.
I was like, I have some questions. I found really no merit to Athea's style of life, to be fully honest.
It was depressing. I feel like there's more darkness there. Like her husband is like a day trader, and they moved from New York because she potentially had a mental breakdown because New York was too stressful, or because they wanted to do like tax evasion in Florida. And her husband now has to do his trading in the laundry room. So I was like, I feel like there's some fun darkness here. they had an older daughter who was like the mature motherly daughter home from college who Wendy mostly hung out with the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, and there's this. Wendy notes that Haley is sort of the mother to the two younger boys because her and her sister are older, and they had a completely different New York City rules heavy life that Athea is trying to like get away from, and so the boys have this very unstructured existence, but Haley is kind of the one to sort of keep them in line and give them love. I agree with you completely that there was something underneath this all that I think we're not discussing of like why the hell Athea went so far away from the New York City life, to this
Right.
current state of things.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
they
we
didn't get into.
also, frankly, I thought about it a little, but it was crazy knowing that underneath it all, it actually more so bummed me out that when seeing Wendy's kids and how much they loved her when she came back and stuff, I was like, they better not go to jail. I'm going to be like bummed out if that happens.
I know. Yeah, it was really sad. Like, I just no part of me, I wasn't even watching this at all being like, what was fraudulently reported as stolen here. I was just like, this seems like a wonderful household. I think Wendy seems like an amazing mother. I loved every piece of advice that Wendy gave to Athea. I was like, I have all of the same feedback at the end of it, and Wendy was, like she said, she goes, this is Housewives 101. She just came with all of her sort of criticism immediately to
Yeah.
Athea of just all the things that she had witnessed. And I even like that she was getting into it with the boys. She goes, if Shane wants to boogie board, then I'm going to be sitting there on a boogie board next to him. Like she gave them a full day of like sort of honoring their passions as well. So I like that Wendy sort of got into it with them. That was sweet.
She seemed like totally great mom. I also was like, damn, because when Athea first gets to Wendy's house, she has to wear booties, like the way that they make production people wear booties around the house or like at an open house. And I'm like, she had to wear booties. And then by the end, there was red paint on the carpet. I was like, that really was the cardinal sin.
Oh, yeah. Wendy. I mean, Wendy could not stand Athea when she walked in that room and saw paint on the carpet. I mean, she couldn't get over it. She was like, this is the worst thing. She goes, I want to sit in the living room right next to that red stain. So you have to look at it while we talk to you. Like,
do you think that production insurance covered her then replacing it with marble?
Absolutely. They had to. Yes, of course. Someone came into my home that you authorized. They signed paperwork and they made my son spill a bunch of red paint. I was like, what the hell is going on with that crafts in the middle of the living room? Poor Cruz. He's like,
she was probably like, Cruz, I do want to put in marble. So, do the red paint. We can't get it out. Thank you.
Oh, maybe you're right. I didn't even think about that. A way to sort of, get some
we
marble
know they
in
do
there.
Insurance fraud.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I'm so sorry to say I didn't enjoy this this one very much.
I would say they've all been like a 5 out of 10. So maybe this for me was like a 5.5. I also forgot that there was yet another Bravo child named Cruz. There's like 7 of them.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of pressed to remember all of them. I don't remember how many cruises we have.
There's
I know,
Cruz
of course.
Couchy.
Of course.
There's I think one of the Dallas wives had a cruise. Isn't there? There's at least 5. I promise you.
Wow. All right. Yeah. No. And I forgot. I forgot that Wendy and Eddie had a cruise as well. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, I felt like when they at the end, it was kind of sad when they said what they did. What they swapped or whatever. It was like Athea made her kids scrambled eggs.
I know that was like mommy just got out of the institution, and we're really proud to say she made us eggs. Like the standard could not be lower. I'm like, I can make eggs when I'm like hungover. Like it's really not a big deal.
It seemed a little easier for Wendy to implement Athea's rules, which don't have rules for 1 hour of a day, than it would be for Wendy's rules to sort of.
I know. I was also like, if Wendy really does wake up at 5 a.m. every day, then like there's no way she's gonna be able to sleep in. Like maybe she could make it to 6.
She barely did. It showed her at 6:40 and she was fluttering her eyes. You can't sleep. If you wake up at 5 every day, you can't sleep much past, 6 or 6:30.
Yeah. I just, wow, Google actually worked for once and gave me the populated results that were helpful to me. Brittany and Jax, Teddy Mellencamp, Stephanie Holman, Cameron Westcott, and Wendy. So there were 2 Dallas. So 5 total, if this is all of them.
Wow. Okay.
And they're all
right.
spelled different. Cruz. Oh, wait. There's 2 that are the same. Cruz. Jax and Brittany and Teddy. And Stephanie Holman. All Cruz. Cameron Westcott. Cruz as in like Cruise, like cruisin'. And then Wendy's the only one with a K. Kruz.
Oh my gosh. Wow. We had, there was I'd say a time around 10 years ago to 15 years ago that Cruz was hitting pretty hard. And then it got Jackson Brittany. Jackson Brittany kind of late. They were sort of on the tail end of Cruz.
Yeah, everyone else is like 2013, 14, and then they were 2021.
Yeah. Well, great. I'm glad to know how many. I knew that there was a lot, but I didn't know how prevalent that name was among Bravo children.
It's important.
Yeah. So good. Well, I would say overall, I did not really, I didn't find much merit to Wife Swap Real Housewives Edition. I felt like maybe the copyright or something was going to lapse and another network was going to get it. So they had to like rush and do a version of it to keep it or something. Cause I don't really understand why it's 4 episodes, why it came out of nowhere. What the hell is going on? Why was it not a Peacock exclusive? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, this.
Remember when Jax and Brittany, when they tested the waters and did the Jax and Brittany watch Vanderpump, and it was like 2 episodes?
Yeah, and they didn't do like the finale or the penultimate episode. It was just like, we just put a weird special out for where they recap 3 episodes in a row just in the middle of the season.
And then was it Summer House or the Valley where they just stopped doing the after show at one point? It just ceased to exist.
Yeah.
Like some of the Peacock and Bravo shit, I'm like, huh? Like that, you're not allowed to just like stop.
I know. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it's just more chaotic and unstructured than you could imagine. And there are decisions that are made that we'll never understand, like why this wife swap exists and what it was for. Like I have no clue. Will they ever do another season of this? I don't know. It didn't really. It
probably cost them like $1, so it's probably worth it if they just need filler.
Yeah. Well, possible. Yeah, that's very possible. Well, yeah, I gave this one a 5 out of 10, like you said. So
yeah. Well, it's over now. We are free.
Yes, we are free, and now we are really free to talk about Real Housewives of Orange County, Part 2. Yes. You and I lied and spread horrible misinformation last week when we said this was going to be a 2-part OC. We could not imagine it being 3 parts, we said. There's no way. Absolutely it can't. And then everybody who watched it on Peacock, Andy was like, get ready for 3 parts. And so we were misguided. We saw now what a Part 2 looks like. A lot of Jen Pedranti. And then, but a huge part of this was getting to the bottom of hospital. Gretchen goes to the hospital and what that really means. So I was kind of intrigued by that. Moderately intrigued, but still don't know if, we needed 3 full parts. But you want to go through it?
Yeah. To start, what are your overall thoughts on Slade not joining? Do you give him... Is that a positive or a negative to you?
It's a you know what? I before I started this season, Slade was one of my least liked figures in all of Bravo. I've never liked Slade. I believe a part of it is that he didn't want to appear thirsty again by running to a reunion and having a moment in the sun because he seems like a fame-hungry person. But also, if I know Slade, and he is sort of a devious person from what I remember of him, you could imagine that he didn't want to be accountable here when Matt has the receipts to say, look at my texts, look at how many times you called. So I bet it's almost a 50-50 here. I think that the most valuable time we could spend talking about Orange County is just talking about the hospital stuff first. I just want to give you my theory and see if it matches up. I think I've already said this. I believe Gretchen and Slade were telling stories. I have already said this at, what is it called? Mastro's. I believe they lied and said, that she went to the hospital and she thought she was roofied. In this drunken stupor of fun and talking about salacious stories from the past, they definitely said it. And then when Gretchen was going to be a cast member on the show, when they heard that Katie was telling Kiki Monique, people in the world that are going to spread this story, they said, please, for the love of God, do not tell stories that we were saying that are salacious, dumb, silly, and that when we were drunk, please don't say this. But the horse was out of the barn already because Katie told Kiki about it. And so now Gretchen and Slade are rightfully doing damage control. But all of that aside, I don't care that Gretchen and Slade drunkenly at Mastro said that she was possibly felt like she was drugged and hospitalized to a person that she never thinks she's going to see again, that she knows this is a new housewife, but she didn't think that she was going to be on the show. I just don't care at all. I still care that Katie thought it was worthwhile to tell Kiki Monique slanderous gossip about the upcoming season and was spreading that news to anyone who will listen so that it could infiltrate the blogosphere, the Bravo bloggers, journalists. That is still, to me, the most egregious action, and we've gotten so far away from that. So that's it to me. And is there any part of that you want to pick apart and counter, or is there anything you think I'm off base about with that scandal?
That sounds pretty right to me. I don't get why Jen is still a question mark in that scenario, because she was there and she is still saying that Gretchen never said that. And then it got a little confusing because Gretchen kept getting sidetracked to Andy saying and Gretchen saying, if that would have happened, if I were roofied, it would have come up at the reunion 15 years ago. I would have called the police. It would have been a huge issue. And they're like, yeah, because it's not true, but that doesn't mean you didn't say it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it kept jumbling and I kept being like, I'm like, how do we have all the players here with like a cell phone and like the texts and the calls and stuff? And I still don't know the truth because Matt is saying it was a 47-minute phone call. Gretchen's saying it was an 11-minute phone call. I'm like, we're never going to get to the actual bottom of this because everyone's just going to like ride their side. I will say I was a little turned off that Matt wants an orange. Like, he was like, listen to me, you know, like he was snapping back at Jen and Gretchen. And I was like, for once, I was a little, I mean, I think Slade was bitching out because he didn't want to have to prove his case. But I was like, the fact that both Ryan and Slade made it so that Matt was the only man kind of like fucked him, because it was a little bit like, why are you even like, this is lame.
Yeah. I felt bad for Matt only because I felt like he was so nervous. He was very uncomfortable.
Shannon was like, he's shaking. Just let him get it over with.
And I do think that his mind is kind of blown in a sort of Todd Newport way of like being like, what the hell is going on? I don't know 90% of what the hell happens on camera when you are all together. All I know is that while we were drunk, that story was told to me. Slade called me a couple times to be like, please don't recite false rumors that we said. That would ruin us. Please don't do that. That's horrible. That was spoken to you in confidence. And he's like, I need to set the record straight because Katie, my wife, is being accused of being a liar. So I felt like he has righteous anger, but it comes off really annoying and petulant and weird to see him be that blunt with them. I didn't like it. I didn't like his demeanor, but I chalked it up to being very nervous and having righteous anger. But Jen is not the target here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it looked.
I know. She's like, I'm being accused of the same shit. I don't know what you're popping off on me for.
Totally.
He also was like, about Slade and Gretchen, he was like, you're his fourth housewife, and all of the other women are like, oh no, like we don't say that.
And she goes, I'm his third. Which is, to push back.
Yeah. Also, did you get the vibe that when they showed the texts between Slade and Matt, that Slade was sort of like disinterested? He was like, Matt was like, hey, have you talked to Gretchen? I got the story. And Slade was like, haven't talked to her yet. And he's like, all right, like, let me know. We held the line and Katie and Gretchen are aligned. And he goes, nice.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of lame them talking about this like scandal that you and I barely even care about. Like the fact that they're all, like that Matt was all like into it was kind of
He
odd
hit
to
him with
me.
a nice. I was like, that's like a slap in the face. I'd be like, fuck you. I'm trying to do all this work for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, is that more on Gretchen and Slade's side that they like kind of barely care about this, and Matt's the one
Right.
who's really like trying to get to the bottom of it. I think Matt just had a duty there. He was there to stop the 20%, like the accusations that 20% represent the lies that Katie has told on this show. We still have 80% other lies that we've kind of already dealt with. So I don't know. I mean, I like you, I'm still slightly confused, and I wish that we could just have the bullet point version
Yeah.
of everything that happened without
Yeah.
the sort of cross interference.
Yeah, they also tried to turn on Matt and say, well, if you want to get into everything we said at Maestro's, we can say that you said that the second you met Eddie, you knew he was gay. And you can tell that Andy was like, we're not going down this road. Like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. Jen goes, "You don't want to know what you said when you were drunk at Mastro's," and Gretchen goes, "I'll say it. You thought Eddie was gay the first second you ever met him, and then that's it.
Yeah.
They don't really get into it anymore." But I
Yeah.
do think that it's kind of I don't like that they're using that as an accusation of speaking ill of someone, but I
Mhm.
do think that it's like if everything at Mastro's is on the table while we were all drunk and talking shit. I mean,
Mhm.
I've already said this before, but could you imagine if we were out with 7 friends and we just
Right.
were drunk talking about like crazy about anything in the world, and we were being recorded, and
Yeah.
those
I
stories
would
were
say
being
some
spread?
real cunty shit for
Oh,
sure.
I would say the wildest shit you've ever heard in your life. Horrible, despicable things. And I would never, ever, ever think, hey, run to the blogs, tell Kiki
Yeah.
Monique. I would be like, I am not accountable for my actions that I say drunk eating Mexican food at Mastro's. Absolutely not. I am not.
Although Andy was like, may the record show that Kiki Monique is a
Yeah.
podcaster, not a blogger, and she has a show on Radio Andy. I was like, okay, like, was he trying to make her sound more reputable, I guess?
Absolutely, but it's not our fault. That's what they've
God
been
forbid
called.
you call a podcaster a blogger.
No, I'm saying like we've been hearing about bloggers and journalists and podcasters the entire time. They've all been lumped in together. So obviously that's an acceptable thing to
who
say.
cares?
Like,
I'm a
totally.
podcaster and I hold no respect to that title whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely not. Okay, so we really, I think we talked enough, or we mentioned hospital stuff. We're still sort of confused. Anything else that you wanted to note from the earlier segments? I felt like I didn't really learn too much from the Jen Pedranti section. It was sort of just like catching up with her, like Will, her ex-husband, he is going to start paying child support. He said Ryan is a wonderful stepfather to the children, so like things are getting better there. But anything else notable that you found?
Yeah, she was like, he told me he sent a payment this month, but I haven't gotten it yet. And I was like, where did it go? Like,
I
what
was like, huh?
systems are in place for where did he put it and where do you get it? What do you mean?
Yeah. Mailed a check, but it had to go to someone else's house first, and then they have to mail it to you. I was like,
Yeah, like
how?
what was the Sheena and or Lisa Hochstein divorce apps called? Like Splitwell or whatever.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
It had to go through the Splitwell AI process.
Yeah, it takes like 30 days or whatever. I also, I didn't know where the hell that payment was. Tamara, Jen and Tamara get into it a little bit. Tamara tries to put a full new cheating accusation out there, telling everyone that Jen cheated twice with a yoga studio coach, as well as when she cheated on Will with Ryan, I think. But it kind of just like goes nowhere. I think it's like once you've cheated on Will, we don't really care about another one. And then Jen said something that I thought was kind of insightful about Tamara. She goes, when we ever confront you about anything, you go so fucking low, you dig through the muck and you just throw shit at the wall to see what sticks so that we never speak up about you again because we're too afraid. And then we never want to become friends with you either because you know that that's sort of your inclination all of the time. So like, that's why you don't have strong bonds with anyone. I was like, damn, I mean, she got Tamara's number there. I thought.
Yeah. Tamara's still trying to do the like, you wanted to be me, and goes through, she
Mhm.
makes them compare like cross streets of addresses. She's like, you lived on, Terry Lane, and I lived on the corner of Cartwell Lane. And I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, you think she like rented a house to like stalk you? Like, shut up.
And then Tamara said that they didn't live there at the same time. It was like a previous address of Tamara's, and Jen moved there after in Orange County. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, a lot of this that stuff kind of sucked. I did like when they were talking about how sexy Ryan finds Jen. They were like, "Is it too much or whatever?" And Emily goes, "Don't get me started on too much. 17 years of Shane, and he still has his hands all over my body any chance he can get me." And then
I
Heather goes, 27 years, and I'm still doing reverse cowgirl. And Emily goes, "Stop it. Don't say reverse cowgirl. Shane's been trying to get me to do that nonstop since he heard that Terry likes it."
I was shocked. I mean, I get they implied that Heather said that before. I guess I forgot. That's her thing. But I'm a little shocked that Heather's willing to divulge details like that.
Yeah, I think it happened in New Orleans when Emily was like, do you guys have sex on a pile of cash or whatever? And she goes, reverse cowgirl sex. So we can look at stuff. And then I think Emily was the first one to ever say reverse cowgirl so you can watch TV while you're having
Right.
sex with your husband. But still,
Yeah.
I just like that there is a lot of sexual energy. It's not just Ryan who's sort of salivating to have sex with Jen. Both Ryan
Yeah.
and Terry are too. I mean,
All of a
sorry.
sudden, all of a sudden, they're very supportive of the Ryan Jen relationship. Emily's like, I think you guys have a great relationship. She does put them at ease, saying, I'm finally at a place where if something were to happen between us, I could support my kids. So maybe it just felt more like they are on her side in general. So they're like, we don't care about your boyfriend, even though before they were like, he's a crook.
Totally. I think everyone likes Ryan except Tamara, and Tamara knows not to speak about Ryan anymore because he's going to sue her for that.
Right.
This didn't get an. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, we didn't talk about that. Jen got a phone call in her trailer that it was a little confusing because I was like, who are these people? But they're her and Ryan's friend that got arrested for was that about the Otani thing, or was that a different thing?
Oh, I think that was that was Otani, I think, right?
Sports, some betting,
Yeah.
some illegal fraud shit that everyone, that's what Tamara wore the FBI hat about, blah, blah, blah. Their friend that actually did go to jail, that was on the finale last time, that Matt was like, I'm not standing anywhere near this guy. I guess like, were they making it sound like it was like on his way to jail? Katie was like, hey.
That Katie showed up outside of the jailhouse to Nicole, who I don't know who that is. You know,
Is
they
that
didn't
like his
explain.
wife?
I guess so. And Katie goes,
they needed
guess
to
what?
put some like lower thirds or something, because I was like, I have no fucking clue who you're talking about.
She goes, before he gets into prison, I got to ask you a question. What was it? More about Ryan's involvement potentially? Like Katie was trying to get the scoop, and she promised Nicole that she would get camera time if she told the truth or met with her for a scene to get more gossip on Ryan. I was like, damn, Katie, my God. From what I see of you on screen, where I'm like, you seem nice and normal, you're doing a lot of fucking shit behind the scenes. Like, what the hell? I've never been so like wrong about someone in their first season. I thought Katie was just being fun. Like, but then like all of this shit behind the scenes that she's done, I cannot believe it. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Because Jen, she gets that call like mid reunion, and then she tells it to Shannon, who's eating chicken out of a Ziploc bag. And she's like, well, are you going to bring it up? She's like, yeah, I literally just heard, but it doesn't come up, right?
No. I think that's going to be part 3.
That'll be next week.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so it's like, damn, like Katie just like is really trying to make something happen, and it keeps blowing up in her face left and right. She comes after something that I forgot about, is that Jen and Gretchen did some fucked up karate video where they did an offensive Asian accent of some kind, and they have them apologize to Katie because it was fucked up. And at first Jen gets pissed and is like, how dare you think that? And it's like, just take the L, like just shut up. And Andy's like, what were you thinking?
I was just gonna say, Andy goes, "What the hell were you thinking when you posted that?" That was kind of funny, but yeah, I think they resolve it in the moment where Katie was like, that was offensive, but they apologize, I think, wholeheartedly. Although Katie
Yeah.
does accuse Gretchen of using an AI apology that said
Oh
"warm
my God.
regards" at the end.
Warm regards. Oh my God. I am like shocked every minute of the day at how often people are using ChatGPT because I swear to God, every time I try to use it, it sucks so bad.
Oh, it sucks so bad. Yeah, I don't want to say my examples of it really sucking, but I'm actually glad that there is an AI detector because that's going to be kind of
Yeah.
cool when people are getting like garbage responses and stuff to just be like, oh, okay, I got Chat GPT'd,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
I was surprised by that as well.
do you see on a Gmail, sometimes it'll be like, you'll send me something, be like, let's record at noon. And it'll be like, sounds great, Riley.
Yeah, are you saying that you sometimes do use AI sometimes to respond to me in turtle time emails?
Um, I pretty much never use the options because it's never quite what I want, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I never use those. I say I'd love to type this up myself. One thing that I didn't get that didn't get enough because Shannon had to go to the bathroom so bad, there wasn't enough attention, but I was very interested in when Heather had to hear Gina disparage her career and her
Yeah.
humor level 5 different times during the season at some point. And unfortunately, it gets kind of derailed because Shannon has to go to the bathroom, so Andy's not paying attention. So Heather feels kind of embarrassed that she's having a moment, and she's like, this is important to me. Can I please talk about this more? And
Yeah.
it doesn't really go anywhere because everybody has to go to the bathroom so bad. But
Yeah.
Gina doesn't really have to account for saying, you're not funny. I never watched any of your shitty sitcoms. They were before I was born. She's the least funny person I've ever known. I felt like there should have been 5 more minutes dedicated to why she decided to hate on Heather like that. But they didn't really get into it. But then when they went to break for the bathroom, Gina did just apologize to Heather and say, I
Yeah.
am so sorry for everything I said.
Yeah. Shannon just kept looking at Andy going, I have to go to the bathroom. And Andy did defend Heather. He kept chiming in across the board of he has opinions in this city. He was like, just so we're clear, Heather is the only one here who has been on multiple sitcoms, which, by the way, I think it was last week. I did Telematrix, the TV version of Cinematrix, and it was Jenny McCarthy. And I was like, Jenny. And it was very low percentage.
Really? Oh
And I
my
only know about
God.
it because of Heather.
That's a huge win for Heather Dubrow that you know of that sitcom with Jenny McCarthy from that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I liked when Andy defended her. I loved that sort of him just being like, what the hell were you talking about, Gina? She's been on a bunch of sitcoms. And also, I
Yeah.
like when Heather was like, you told me you wanted to be a comedy writer. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But that was it for me in terms of big moments that I thought were worth discussing. But anything else for you in this part of the
Yeah.
reunion?
It was pretty much, yeah, like Fatty Photo, Tamara Jen, and then like Naked Wasted were the big things. And then I assume next week the preview was that Gretchen accuses the accounts that they were saying that she liked, the accounts and posts were somehow tied to Tamara, which I don't know what that means. She's like crying, Tamara's screaming. Gretchen fully seems to deny the bombshell leak moment. So actually, part 3, I am kind of interested because I want to see how Andy handles the homophobic post stuff, like if he holds her feet to the fire hardcore, because I think he will. And then how Tamara would get out of the producers fully throwing her under the bus on the finale.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Yeah, the things I'm most interested in are still coming up in part 3. So that'll be fun to recap next week. I can't wait. But Amy, I have to say, I mean, I don't know if we've ever completed the Turtle Time mission like this in 48
Faster.
minutes, but we just went full speed ahead. I want to say very quickly, if you enjoyed this episode, there was a lot more of it over on the Turtle Time Patreon where you can pay. And if you pay us some money, you get access to our Vanderpump Rules recap series, which we think is very fun. You also become a Villa Rosa VIP and you get access to our discussion boards. And then we also, please, if you ever could, review or rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, because that is super helpful for us. We would love that.
Yes, please do. We are recording this a little early this week because we will be shipping out to BravoCon. So, when we come back, we'll have fun stories to regale you. If you're on the fence about our Patreon, Monday's episode will be a paywalled tell-all of everything that we saw, witnessed, encountered at BravoCon. So I would say if you were considering it, I would personally want to do that one because last time we saw some pretty nutty stuff.
We really did. And and you'll find out, were Amy and I able to congratulate Cole McBee on his engagement? What kind of stuff will we get up to at BravoCon 2025? So that'll be very fun over there on Patreon. Well, Amy,
Yes.
I'm going to say goodbye to you, and let's say goodbye to our Turtle Time listeners. Any last final words that you'd like to say to them?
No, love you guys. See ya.
Bye.